Irritable Bowel Syndrome, commonly known as IBS, affects an estimated 10% of the population, with women between the ages of 20 and 50 being the most affected. IBS isn't just a digestive issue, it's a reflection of what is happening in your entire body. Your gut influences your immune system, your skin, your mood, your stress response, and even your risk for long-term neurological conditions. When the gut is irritated, inflamed, or imbalanced, the entire body feels the consequences. In today's video, we're going to explore how lifestyle habits, nutrition, targeted supplementation, and select herbal remedies can support a calmer, healthier, more resilient gut. The goal isn't just symptom relief, it's creating the conditions for long-term gut healing and overall well-being. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe to the Vital Nourish for weekly science-based health and nutrition videos, and leave a like if you find this content helpful. Now let's begin. The gut is often called the second brain, but many experts believe it's just as important, if not even more influential, than the first. When your gut is inflamed, it affects your immunity, your hormone balance, your cognitive clarity, your skin, and even your ability to manage stress. People with IBS often experience not only abdominal discomfort, bloating, gas, irregular bowel habits, or alternating constipation and diarrhea, but also headaches, fatigue, anxiety, depression, skin issues, and increased sensitivity to stress. This happens because the gut communicates constantly with the brain through the gut-brain axis. If the gut is inflamed, the brain receives stress signals. If the brain is overwhelmed, stressed, or dysregulated, the gut receives those signals in return. IBS is rarely just an intestinal problem. It's a whole system imbalance. So the first step in healing IBS is understanding that your gut does not heal in isolation. What you eat, how you move, how you manage stress, your sleep patterns, your microbiome, and even your emotional state, all of it plays a role. When the gut is inflamed, the most powerful tool you have is your nutrition. Supplements and herbal remedies can help tremendously, but they cannot compensate for a diet that irritates your digestive system at every meal. An anti-inflammatory diet, centered around whole foods and mostly plant-based choices, is one of the most consistently effective approaches for IBS. However, in the early stages, when inflammation is high, some high-fiber foods may actually worsen symptoms. People often tolerate refined grains better than whole grains at first, and legumes in their peeled or split form better than traditional versions. Vegetables that cause intense bloating may need to be reduced temporarily until the gut calms down. Among all the foods that aggravate the gut, two groups stand out: gluten-containing grains and dairy products rich in casein. The modern gluten content of wheat is much higher than it used to be, and many people with IBS experience heightened sensitivity. Casein, the primary protein in cow's milk, is another common trigger, and its molecular structure is surprisingly similar to gluten. This is why people who don't tolerate gluten often struggle with dairy as well. Even foods advertised as lactose-free still contain casein, meaning the inflammatory potential remains. So if you have IBS, strongly limiting gluten and dairy can be a transformative first step. Adding omega-3 rich foods like walnuts and fatty fish further supports gut healing, because omega-3s help quiet inflammation throughout the digestive tract. And if your diet doesn't include enough natural omega-3 sources, a high-quality supplement, ideally one tested for purity, can be an effective addition. Once your nutrition becomes more supportive and less irritating, you can enhance the healing process with specific anti-inflammatory botanicals. 3 natural compounds are especially helpful for the inflamed gut. The first is curcumin, the active extract distilled from turmeric. Curcumin is far more bioavailable than turmeric powder, especially in its liposomal form. However, if you struggle with acid reflux or gallbladder issues, curcumin may not be ideal, and you may benefit more from boswellia, a powerful anti-inflammatory resin derived from the same plant used to produce frankincense. Boswellia is gentle on the gut lining and has remarkable effects on inflammation across the digestive tract. Medicinal mushrooms are another incredible tool. Reishi and lion's mane, also known as Ganoderma lucidum and Hericium erinaceus, both support gut health through their anti-inflammatory properties and their ability to modulate the immune system. However, if you suspect you have intestinal candida or a severe microbiome imbalance, you may need to address that first, since mushrooms can sometimes temporarily aggravate fungal overgrowth before improving it. One of the most important nutrients for gut integrity is butyric acid, also known as butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid used by your intestinal cells as their primary fuel source. A healthy microbiome naturally produces butyrate when you consume fiber. But if your gut is inflamed and you are temporarily eating less fiber, your intestinal cells may be starving for the support they need to repair themselves. You can increase butyrate by adding clarified butter or ghee into your diet, since ghee contains butyric acid without the casein proteins found in dairy. You can also use butyrate supplements, although they typically have a very strong smell. Even short cycles of supplemental butyrate, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, can make a substantial difference in restoring gut barrier function, supporting energy production inside intestinal cells, and reducing inflammation. Once inflammation starts to settle, introducing the right probiotics can help rebuild a balanced microbiome. Look for strains belonging to Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium species, which are the most studied for IBS. What matters most is not the number of strains, but the quality, viability, and the ability of those probiotics to survive until the expiration date. Probiotics work best when paired with a larger gut healing plan. They help restore the intestinal barrier, repair dysbiosis, and support immune regulation. But for lasting results, they need to be combined with dietary changes, stress regulation, and improved digestion. No gut healing journey is complete without addressing lifestyle. Moderate physical activity, around 150 minutes per week, helps regulate bowel movements, especially in constipation-predominant IBS. Exercise also reduces overall inflammation, boosts endorphins, and helps balance the nervous system, which is essential because the gut is deeply influenced by emotional and neurological stress. Remember, more than 90% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter linked to happiness and emotional balance, is produced in the gut. If your microbiome is imbalanced or your intestinal lining is inflamed, serotonin production drops, which can lead to anxiety, mood swings, and even depression. This is why many people with IBS also struggle with stress and emotional overwhelm. It's a two-way relationship. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, breathwork, yoga, prayer, or even just structured deep breathing for as little as 2 minutes a day can calm the nervous system, reduce cortisol, and directly improve gut function. Healing IBS means healing both the body and the mind. Your gut doesn't heal when you focus on only one aspect of your life. True gut healing requires a whole body perspective. What you eat, how you breathe, how you sleep, how you move, how you handle your emotions, and how you nourish your microbiome, they all matter. A calmer gut leads to a calmer mind. A calmer mind leads to a calmer gut. When you approach IBS with this integrated mindset, healing becomes not only possible, but remarkably empowering. If this video helped you understand your gut better, leave a like, share it with someone who needs it, and let us know in the comments, how does your gut feel lately? And what has helped you the most? Thank you for watching the Vital Nourish. Take good care of yourself and we'll see you in the next video.